You're listening to the Dead Presidents Podcast.
And this is the top 5 presidential pets.
5, we're about to take a dive. 4, in the presidential lore. 3, who will talk like me? 2, we're about to tell you. 1, the show's not begun.
Welcome to the Dead Presidents Podcast. I am James J. Hamilton.
And I'm Stephen Lincoln Douglas.
We've got an exciting top 5 for you this week. And as you can hear, we've got some friends with us who are equally excited.
As you know, Jim, the saying goes, if you want a friend in Washington, buy a dog. Many presidents have had dogs, but some have had some more exotic friends. And that's going to bring us to the top 5 presidential pets.
Number 5.
Martin Van Buren's tigers.
Yep, Martin Van Buren had some tigers. Early in his presidency, he received 2 tiger cubs as a gift from the Sultan of Oman.
Very, very interesting. What a gift.
Van Buren, he loved these tigers. He had kept them at the White House. Congress was not too happy about it. They felt that the cubs were a gift not to the president personally, but to the United States, and they wanted the tigers in the zoo, but Van Buren didn't want to give them up. He claimed that they were a gift to the president, and he wanted to keep them.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, I think I'll hold on to these tigers.
Yeah, that's the classic scenario between kids and parents. Oh, can we keep him?
Yeah.
No, little Martin, it's unconstitutional. This was an epic clash.
Ach, nein, but I want to keep the tigers.
An epic showdown between 2 co-equal branches of government, putting separation of powers and checks and balances to the test. Who will win the battle of the tigers? Eventually, Congress won out, and Van Buren had to give the tigers to the zoo. But he loved them. I'll bet he went and visited them all the time.
I tried to look up. I couldn't find their names.
Yeah, I didn't see their names either, but...
Hey, listeners, if you find the tigers' names, why don't you go ahead and hit us up in the comment section? And I just opened up a whole avenue for some serious trolling.
Yep.
Cool. But that's going to bring us around to top 5 presidential pet.
Number 4.
John Quincy Adams, alligator. In an 1825 visit to the White House, Revolutionary War hero the Marquis de Lafayette brought a gift for President John Quincy Adams, an alligator. Adams kept the alligator in the bathtub in the East Room of the White House and liked to scare visitors by leading them into the room without telling them about said alligator. Imagine strolling through the White House with President Adams, perhaps discussing his plan to charter a national university, when all of a sudden, an alligator darts across the room. You scream in terror and look over, and John Quincy Adams is laughing his tits off. Very mature behavior for a president.
Yeah. He probably runs and tells the First Lady.
Boy, did I get him good.
Secretary of State almost pooped his pants.
Yes. And the Secretary of the Navy did.
Yep. Luckily, there was a bathtub nearby for them
Exactly.
to wash up.
It was easy to wash the trousers out. Very interesting. Pets thus far. Quite exotic.
Yeah.
But it's only going to get more crazy, because we're coming around to top 5 presidential pet.
Number 3.
Thomas Jefferson's Grizzly Bears.
Was the year 1807. Zebulon Pike led an expedition to explore the western United States. That's where we get Pike's Peak.
Exactly.
He sent back to President Jefferson a gift of 2 grizzly bear cubs. So far, these exotic pets, all gifts.
All gifts. And,
President's not necessarily sitting around thinking, you know what, I need 2 grizzly bears.
No, I feel like this is kind of a little bit inappropriate on the part of the gifter. This is like, oh, what can I get the president of the United States? Oh, I know. 2 tigers. Oh, I know. An alligator. Oh, I know. How about some grizzly bear cubs?
Well, they wanted to show off their exotic animals, I guess, in Oman, and Zebulon Pike, discovering the territory of the grizzly bears really for the United States.
Yeah.
And, this is a different species of bear that's not known.
Just seems like
East.
what would be, to me, in my mind, a knowingly impractical gift.
Yeah.
Like you're gifting somebody something that is going to inconvenience them.
Yeah.
Who's going to clean up the tiger poop?
Mm-hmm.
Not Van Buren with his bathing every day lifestyle. Yeah. What?
And then Jefferson gets 2 grizzly cubs. It's like, how long can he keep these before they become a physical danger to the president?
Correct.
In the days before the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Grizzly bears, known as the most ferocious animals on the continent at the time, the cubs arrived at the White House, were kept in an enclosure on the White House lawn. Some passersby liked to see the grizzlies. Others made cracks about the White House bear garden.
Oh, yeah.
Referencing the old sport
beer gardens of Germany.
Of bear baiting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was thinking they were making a joke on beer gardens.
No, that's the old bear baiting arena.
Oh.
Maybe if Andrew Jackson had some grizzlies, he might engage in some bear baiting, gambling.
That's where they would just like, it was like nobles and shit would just basically.
Yeah, they'd have a bear
have shit with
tied
no
up,
chance,
and then dogs would attack it, I think.
Yeah. Wow. What a scummy thing.
That's what Jefferson could have been doing, but if
Thankfully,
he wanted,
he wasn't.
But he didn't do that. He quickly.
So just for our listeners, just to let you know, like, if you didn't know, like I didn't know what bear baiting was, it's a disgusting practice.
Yeah, I don't think it was even current at the time anymore.
I think I might have been early on the beer gardens thing too. That might have been a little bit later in Deutschland.
Yeah. Well, Jefferson soon found that his bears were too dangerous and troublesome to keep at the White House. He donated them to Charles Wilson Peale's museum in Philadelphia. Peale was happy to have them. He obtained a large cage for them. He wanted to study the species as it grew to full size, hoped they would breed. However, as the bears grew up, they became more and more aggressive. One of them broke out of its cage and rampaged through the museum, threatening Peale's family, and had to be shot.
Ouch.
They decided the other bear had to be put down as well.
What?
They're too dangerous to keep around.
Ugh. That's disgusting.
It's not like they can just
let it go.
release it into the woods of outside Philadelphia.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. They had it shipped in.
The bears remained in the museum as mounted taxidermy.
Ugh. A grim reminder of humans' lust for power.
Yep, these bears introduced the eastern United States to the grizzly bear and proved that even if raised in captivity, they cannot be tamed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's best to leave things as they are.
Yep.
That's going to bring us around to top 5 presidential pet.
Number 2.
Andrew Jackson's parrot. Andrew Jackson bought a parrot as a gift for his beloved wife Rachel, and he kept the parrot for himself after her untimely death. It was an African gray parrot named Paul. Parrots are known for their ability to learn and repeat words and phrases. So, what kind of words and phrases did Paul learn from President Jackson? Well, we actually know a little bit about that due to an infamous incident at Jackson's funeral in 1845, where Paul the parrot had to be removed from the service because she would not stop swearing. A witness said, "Before the sermon and while the crowd was gathering, a wicked parrot that was a household pet got excited and commenced swearing so loud and long as to disturb the people and had to be carried from the house. The parrot was excited by the multitude and let loose perfect gusts of cuss words. People were horrified and awed at the bird's lack of reverence. Jackson probably would have loved that.
Yeah.
I think he would have got a kick out of that.
Yeah, he's probably laughing in the next world. It's probably the funnest presidential funeral to attend.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like, it got so out of control that people were like, all right, you got to get this thing out of here. And, it had to pick that up from somebody. So, it's just like, it shows you what, like, a foul-mouthed person Jackson was.
Yeah, he must
or
have
if he
been.
did that intentionally, just to, what if he was that kind of person where it's like, oh, this thing can talk, I'm just going to teach it a bunch of swear words.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, he's probably walking around the White House cussing out like John C. Calhoun and Henry Clay, and the parrot's picking up on it.
Parrot's picking up on it. As they do. That's going to bring us around to our top 5 presidential pet.
Number 1.
Rebecca the Raccoon.
Calvin Coolidge had such a menagerie of pets at the White House that the White House was referred to as the Pennsylvania Avenue Zoo. Coolidge had at least 12 different dogs, 2 cats, 3 canaries, a goose, a donkey, and a bobcat.
Interesting, a bobcat.
But the most celebrated of all the Coolidge pets was Rebecca the Raccoon. This raccoon was sent to the White House from Mississippi in 1926 to be cooked for the Coolidge's Thanksgiving dinner.
Oof.
Guess, it has fallen out of favor in modern times, but apparently baked raccoon was once a favored and treasured holiday treat in the South.
Well, leave it to the South.
Lincoln was the first president to pardon the White House turkey, but Coolidge is the only president to pardon the Thanksgiving raccoon.
That's right.
The Coolidge family found the raccoon to be friendly and docile, and rather than eat her, decided to keep her as a pet. Coolidge said in a press conference that the raccoon is very playful, very interesting, and seems very well trained and well behaved. He asked the press to help come up with a name, and on Christmas Eve, 1926, she was christened Rebecca the Raccoon. Rebecca was a favorite of First Lady Grace Coolidge, who wrote, quote, "We had a house made for her in one of the large trees with a wire fence built around it for protection. We kept her chained when out of doors, but in the house she had her liberty. She was a mischievous, inquisitive party, and we had to keep watch of her when she was in the house. She enjoyed nothing better than being placed in a bathtub with a little water in it and given a cake of soap with which to play. In this fashion, she would amuse herself for an hour or more." Wonder if that was the same bathtub that John Quincy Adams'
the gator
alligator
was kept in, perhaps.
President Coolidge would walk around with Rebecca hanging on his neck. They'd carry her around like a cat. The Coolidges loved Rebecca, but not everybody was a fan. Some of the White House staff disliked her because she would knock over plants, tear clothing and upholstery, and unscrew light bulbs. In 1928, the Coolidges were given a male raccoon, Reuben, as a companion for Rebecca. So they're trying to set her up with a boyfriend, perhaps produce a litter of baby raccoons for the White House, but Rebecca was having none of that. The 2 raccoons did not get along, and Reuben soon escaped the White House grounds and ran away. Rebecca also escaped a few times, and the Coolidges feared for her safety if she would continue to get out, so they gave her to the local zoo.
Yeah, you can't completely take the wild out of something like that, but for, a pretty much undomesticated animal, Rebecca was pretty remarkable, and there are pictures you could look up of her on Grace Coolidge's neck.
Yeah.
And
they're holding her like a cat.
Yeah. It was
it's pretty funny Coolidge talking about her in a press conference.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the president, it's called a press conference.
Yeah, I have a feeling
Very
he's probably
important things to
annoyed. It was
say.
probably a question that came up,
they're
and he was probably
asking him about it.
He was probably miffed that they brought that up. But we also got an honorable mention here. we wanna talk about Theodore Roosevelt,
Yeah.
who had a veritable menagerie of White House pets that far exceeded even Coolidge's Pennsylvania Avenue Zoo.
Yeah.
As we know, TR was a naturalist, and he collected thousands of animal specimens for the Smithsonian. He also had young children during his presidency, and they were fond of pets.
Yeah.
So the TR White House had at least 11 horses, 6 dogs, 2 cats, 2 parrots, 2 kangaroo rats, numerous snakes, a badger, a flying squirrel, a hyena, a wildcat, a coyote, an owl, some chickens, a pig, a raccoon, 5 guinea pigs, 5 bears, a zebra, and a lion.
Wow.
You may be asking, why isn't he number 1?
Well, I don't know. He just has so many different pets. I don't know if any one of them is famous.
Yeah,
in their
there's
own way.
not. That's the thing.
He just
If it was
merits-
top 5 presidential animal enthusiasts,
yeah, he definitely.
then I
be number
suppose
one.
TR would take the number 1 spot. But we have to go with Rebecca the Raccoon based on personality. And then a second honorable mention, we might as well bring up Richard Nixon and Checkers.
Yeah, we didn't include any dogs in the list.
Yeah, we didn't include any dogs in the list, and that was for a reason. But if you're interested in presidential pets, I mean, Checkers may be the most famous presidential dog.
Yeah, he has a famous speech named after
Yeah,
him.
famous speech that Nixon gave. So that was our top 5. Let's give it a little shout out to www.presidentialpetmuseum.com. A nice comprehensive source that you guys can check out to learn all about presidential pets.
Yeah, learn about your favorite
Over the
president's favorite pets.
And that's going to bring us to the end of our top 5 this week.
Fortunately, this week's episode was brought to you by one of our favorite sponsors, the South Carolina Jockey Club, where all dogs interfering in the proceedings are immediately...
What was that, James? I couldn't hear you over those damn mutts.
Well, it's the South Carolina Jockey Club,
Oh,
where all dogs are immediately killed.
that's the South Carolina Jockey Club guarantee.
That's right.
Until next time, I'm Stephen Lincoln Douglas,
And I'm James Shea Hamilton.
and I've got some digging to do.